In today's episode of Inside the Linn-Henley Gallery, I had the pleasure of interviewing Naila Jaraysi, a member of St. George Melkite Church here in Birmingham, and also a professor from Lawson State Community College. In this episode, we will dig deep inside the history and the role that women played in the early Middle Eastern community. Stay tuned. I'm sorry. So Naila, how long have you been in Birmingham?
I've been here for 27 years.
Okay. And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from, I'm a Palestinian, but we lived in the border of Israel. And we are, I'm between two main cities, and it's in a small village. It's called Abu Snan, but we are between Akko and Hare. My village is like 22 kilometers from the border of Lebanon. And equally distance from Haifa. So it's an easy access for us to go everywhere from my town. And I grown up there, went to school in Haifa and came back here.
Okay, in 27 years. So have you been at St. George the entire time that you've been in Birmingham?
Yes, I've been at St. George for the entire time. I love St. George as a saint all my entire life. I love St. George. My church back home is called St. George, and this is one of the things that hold me in Birmingham.
Oh, that's awesome. And your family, tell me a little bit more about their immigration story.
My parents did not move here, just me.
Okay.
I moved here with my husband. My parents are from there, and they stayed there. Nobody immigrant other than me.
To Birmingham. Gotcha. Okay.
But we have so many families in our church and so many families in St. Eli's Church that they moved from the Middle East. They moved from Lebanon, Christian. They moved from Lebanon, Christian. They moved from the West Bank in Israel, from Ramallah, from Nazareth. My husband is from Nazareth.
Okay. And talk to me about women and the importance that women played in religion in Birmingham's early Middle Eastern community.
Of course, when they immigrate here to Birmingham, they congregate two churches, St. Eli's, the Mennonite Church, and St. George, the Melkite Catholic Church. The women played a strong role to establish and shape the churches. Why? The women in our countries, they are strong to hold the family together. They are family oriented. They are strong in a way that they do not typically work things my way or the highway. But we have a relation with our families that we are going to do this thing together. Family is very important, and the women taking the family to church is very important. The women cooked for the family, the women cooked for the church, the women helped the church to be clean, the women helped the church to get other families together. So not just in the food festival and the culture festival in both churches, they work strongly to shape the church financially and to fundraise money for these two churches. And not just that, the way how they treat each other, the warm heart in the women, the Christian women, it's the warm heart that they bring other women to the church and stay there. Like I came here, I did not know no one. I did not know one at all, no one at all. The women helped me to stay at the church. The women taught me. The women navigate me around the country. And they told me things. They told me their stories from when they came over, because the people that are in the church, they way more than me in here. They've been here for a long time. So church is very important to us.
Yeah.
And we are one of the basic for the church.
When we had our opening reception for the exhibit that we're sitting in about a month or so ago, time goes by so fast. It was fun. I was telling Abuna Justin Rose just in our last episode, like it was fun to watch everyone. You could tell that you're a tight-knit, close community because when everybody came in, they knew everybody.
We knew every single one in the church. I mean, it is amazing. We had a couple years ago, Sitti Bahiyi died. Her birthday was 100 years.
Okay.
Yes, and we did a birthday for her. It was such a good feeling, and we have Sitti Aziza Shunnara too. It's so good to see those ladies. And since I came to this country, I see them working in the food festival. Even they were older. Even they were very old, but they still came to the church, helped at the church, cooked all day long. They did not say we are tired. Sitti Bahiyi, she was doing the coffee at the church. And she never will say, and she will tell me, I'm going to start saying in Arabic what she was saying. She will say, Habibti, go get me the water, And she would give me and this is the kind of the relation that the women did in the church.
Okay, awesome. And you mentioned that the two festivals, which everyone knows the festivals for their great food, but if you think about it, everything that you're talking about is why those festivals are the success that they are, because you all come together to put them on every single year.
Of course, because preparing for the festival, it does not come overnight.
I can imagine.
Like now, St. Elias, they post pictures on in the social media, on Facebook, and see all the ladies standing and sitting to prepare the food. To prepare the food take long. Preparing the food, you have to do it with love and passion, and take a long time to prepare it.
I can imagine. It's so good. It's so good. I'm getting hungry sitting here thinking about it. And so, are the festivals considered fundraisers for the church?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is one of the main fundraiser of the church. Yes.
And very widely known. So, what other fundraisers and how did women play a role in some of the other fundraisers that the churches do?
Okay. At St. George, now we are in a mode of freezing it after COVID. And we will bring it back. It's going to be coming back. We used to make spinach pie. We used to make ka'ik during Easter, for Pascha. That's Easter, we call it Pascha. And sell those in the church.
Okay, yes. Awesome.
The clothing, and we do the sewing. We do sewing clothing by hand. That's what they done in the past. They used to sew the vestments by hand.
Okay.
We have a cross stitch that is familiar, and it's originally from the Middle East.
Okay.
That it is to sew like mine by hand, and like the vestments for the church vestments for the altar cloth by hand, and things around the house, for example, pillows, picture frames. Yeah.
I love the arts. I love the arts.
The arts.
When you were speaking, I was thinking of my chat with Father Justin last week, and we were talking about the stores and some of the hardest working. The work ethic of Middle Eastern people is phenomenal, and is to be really commended, because from the time that Middle Eastern community first came to the United States, they opened the stores, they worked the stores, they worked hard.
Oh yes, they did work hard. They tell us stories, what they did and what we did. Working hard, it is like in our blood. Let's say it that way. We really work hard, and of course, not every single one. There are some people, they did not care, they just worked the minimum. But mostly, we did work hard from sunrise to late at night.
And what about women's organizations? What organizations have influenced the Middle Eastern community?
In St. George, they started in 1926 four ladies, four girls, and they were late teens. They formed the Azara Club. Azara Club, that's mean the unmarried women, and the Azara clubs mean the virgin in our language. And they were helping they advocate for the poor. They do fundraiser for the poor until now. Our church, they have ministry for the homeless ministry. And they help with of course the food festival, the culture for the food festival. And now this organization is called Saint Anne. Saint Anne, and we had it before COVID and it stopped. Like I said, that we are going to bring it back. We will meet. We will do like meals for the elderly people. Visit the elderly people. Help at the church. Do things around the church. Bake sales for the church for fundraisers.
So tell me a little bit about Ladies Altar.
The Ladies Altar is in the St. Elias Society, and they do a very good job. Their responsibility is overseer the altar at the church. They clean it once every week. They have inside the Ladies Altar, they have group. They have another subgroups that they organize different things or do different things. One of them to clean, and they alternate, of course, those subgroups to clean the altar. And they are now do fundraiser for the orphanage in Lebanon. Those orphanage have kids in Lebanon. As you know, there is so many civil wars or wars with different countries, and their parents died mostly during the war. And another fundraiser they do, it is for the disabled children's organizations. And they did in the past merged with the Matrons group at St. George and purchased the rail for the communion rail. And in the past, the Matrons, they purchased the altar marble for the church. They did fundraiser and did the altar for the fundraiser.
And so talk to me about the Depression era and how did that affect St. Elias?
Depression era affected St. Elias a lot. They dropped to 65 or 61 actually parishioners in the church. But Father Joseph, he was appointed the 10th pastor for the church. He was appointed in order to reopen the church, and the task to open the church, he used a fundraiser was $7. It was $7.87. But St. Elias, the Altars Ladies group, did a fundraiser for $311 back then to repair the church and the rectory, and for future plans as well.
Okay, awesome that they were able to come back, because
they were able to come back. Yes, it was a hard time for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So how were women instrumental in the preservation of Middle Eastern cultural traditions?
Here and overseas, first of all, we have something called dabki, the dance.
Yes.
They stand in one line, holding each other's hands and dance. So they taught the dance, they prepared the clothing, pick the songs, and of course we have famous singer from overseas called Fairuz. Everybody loves her. I taught one time before.
Okay.
And prepare the clothing, because we have to wear special clothes in order to do the dance. And we order sometimes, and some things you cannot order, you have to make it by hand. So they did by hand lots of things before in the past for this dance, and taught the dance and get the group together.
Okay, but so Dabki. So we are interested in having an instructor come and teach a Dabki class as part of our museum program. And when I tell you, I can't wait to learn. I cannot wait to learn Dabki.
Dabkids have, they hold hands and dance. Sometimes you have loose hands, of course, but they have different forms, different movements.
Awesome.
And as a matter of fact, it's also the subject for Dabki. There are, in Lebanon, there's one familiar Dabki that they dance it through the weddings and parties. And here, at the end of the food festivals, we just stand online and we will do it. And it's the same thing in the Palestinian. So they have their different Dabki, kind of Dabki. It's similar, and we, at the end of the food festival, we just stand in line and do it.
I need to stay till the end this year then.
Yes.
I have not heard it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about some sweets, and what holiday special food does the Middle Eastern community eat?
Definitely. Cuisine is very, of course, embedded in our church. First of all, we have some food that is blessed and sacrificed during our liturgy.
Okay.
One of them, of course, for every Sunday in St. George, it is going to be the communion bread, the holy bread, the brasfura. And this is handmade by the women in the church.
Okay.
And Nili and Hare Shunara, they make it now. In the past, Naima Shunara used to make it. And they make it like for the church. And we taught our Sunday school kids how to do it. We had one lesson for them this year to do it. And it is sealed before it's baked with a seal. Has a cross and different meaning, of course, that is used during the liturgy. And other things is memorial wheat. The memorial wheat is done in St. George for the 9 days memorial for the deceased, 40 days memorials, 6-month memorials, and 1 year memorials. And of course, after that, you do memorials without the wheat, the universal memorials. You will announce it. You will ask the priest to pray for them during the liturgy. And there's another kind of food that it is as an educational food for the church about the feast days. For example, the dates-filled cookies, the Pascha cookies, the Easter cookies, the shape is round and pinched with pinchers around. It's representing the crown of throne that was placed in Jesus' crucifixion. Biting through it is going to be the sweetness of the holiday, which is the dates. It's filled with dates. Another one is called ma'mul, which is stuffed with nuts. And the same thing. It's look like a dome, like the tomb of Jesus. Biting through it is the resurrection of Jesus. We do the eggs, the red eggs. We serve it at the end of the liturgy for Pascha. You have to crack it, Father Frank and Father Justin. You have to crack it before you leave the church, and you say, Jesus Christ, Jesus is risen.
I love that.
Yeah, we have. So it is really, in these food, not just the preparing, not just eating, preparing the food, telling you the mom role here to tell the kids the story of the feast with the icon. That way you bring the church feast life in your house. It's not just eating, it's the preparing. is that it is important.
And I think that's why the food is so good, because I think you hit it on the nail earlier. It's made with love, and you can tell the preparation of it is just as important as enjoying it when you're eating it.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And I'm an art lover, so textile art is just something I admire. Talk to me about women and the textile art that they created.
Okay, they create, they definitely all knit,
Okay.
and most of them they knit. Growing up, my mom used to knit my sweaters, my skirts, and hats. Cross stitch, which is originally came from the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
We do cross stitch for like decoration in the house, like tablecloth with the knitting or cross stitch. Pillows for the church. We have iconostasis with 3 doors.
Okay.
The main door, it is the holy door. On the sides, deacon doors. Back then, they used to make by hand
Okay.
the curtains for the doors.
Ah,
Now we do have doors with icons on it.
gotcha. Okay.
And of course, the cloth, the altar cloth in the church, and the vestment for the priest used to be made by hand by the women.
Awesome. And as we sit here inside this newest exhibit inside the Linn-Henley Gallery, tell our viewers, someone who's not within the Middle Eastern community, why should they come and learn the history, the rich history that we're just surrounded by right now?
Of course, first of all, we have in any museum you go to, the museums are helping you to learn. It is an education environment, and at the same time, informal education environment, and could inspire you to learn more.
Yes.
It is sad to say this. So many times, like somebody, you are walking, where are you from? You know, from our accent, they can tell. From our look, they can tell. I will say, oh, I'm from Nazareth because this is where my husband from, it's known. Or well, I am Palestinian from Nazareth. Are you Christian? And I will carry my cross. I will be wearing my cross. Are you Christian? Yes, there are Christians in the Middle East. There are Christians in Lebanon. There are Christians in Palestine. There are Christians in Jordan. And or sometimes they will tell me, are you Jewish? No, I am Palestinian Christian. So, and this is what is the misconceptions surrounded the Middle East that presented now. So when they come here and learn about, see the exhibit, they will learn how we immigrated, how hard we work in order to get to the point that we are at.
Yes.
And to learn how we stable and kept our culture alive in a community that was strange to us, not anymore, of course, when you get used to it, and it was strange to us. It is so hard for a person to move from your roots to be moved to another place. It will take lots of passion, lots of crying, lots of strength in order to stable yourself in different country. You did not speak the language, and we do learn the language. And we love serving the community here as well. So we move not just to do what we want to do, no. We move to help the community and be in the community as part of the community, because all of us are human, we all live on one earth, doesn't matter where, but we are one one place, and we kept our culture alive all the time.
All these years, you guys.
All these years.
Yes.
I mean, we raise our kids keeping our culture at the same time, especially the women. Because the men, like I said, they work so hard. Some of them, did not see their kids growing. This was the woman's job. The woman's job to take care of the family, keep the culture alive in the family.
Yes, absolutely. And you're right. It is very educational. My orthodontist, shout out to Dr. Naila, her husband is actually Middle Eastern. And when I went to visit her very recently, she was like, there's a picture of his dad kneeling in your exhibit. And I just thought that was so cool. But that was a conversation I would have never thought to just have with her, out of the blue.
Yeah.
And you're right. So the Middle Eastern community is submerged here in Birmingham, and we are grateful for everything that you guys do for the Birmingham regional area. Please come out and check out this exhibit. I've learned so much. I've only been at Vulcan Park Museum for 3 years, and this is by far one of my favorite exhibits as far as a topic that I knew nothing about before we built this exhibit. But from building it to seeing it in fruition now, it has just been so educational. So please come out to the Linn-Henley Gallery located at Vulcan Park Museum. You can come daily. We are open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And thank you once again, Naila Jaraysi, for spending time out of your very busy day at Lawson State Community College. Coming out and chatting with us. And yes, as she said, viewers, please come check out this exhibit. It will be on view through January 2024. Thank you.